What's up, folks? This is Josh here from Inside Wrestling Truth, and tonight's video, I got another wrestling book review to go over, and we're going to talk about a few other things. I haven't been making as many videos this week, just because I just haven't. But the first thing that I want to talk about is the newest wrestling book that I read, and it's Bret the Hitman Hart, My Real Life in the Cartoon World of Wrestling. Um, what the front looks like. That's what the back looks like. Uh, this book is by far the best wrestling book that I've ever read. Bret goes deep into this book and telling stories and telling stuff about the wrestling in the 80s and the early 90s and stuff of what happened in the locker room and how certain guys had big drug parties and who was all on steroids and who wasn't on steroids, and um, pretty much talks about how much of a dick Ric Flair was, how Hitman and the Anvil and Bret Hart and Vincent Mann all pissed in Ric Flair's bed, and he talks about what a punk motherfucker Shawn Michaels was and how hard he was to work with. But if that was me and I was wrestling back then, I would have fucking beat the shit out of Shawn Michaels, straight up. And there's one point in this book where he actually does whoop Shawn Michaels in the locker room. But it's a very good book. I would definitely recommend it if you're into buying wrestling books and you want to pick one up. This is the one to pick up because it is fucking awesome. It's Bret the Hitman Hart. Actually, on the back of this book, that right there is Bret Hart paying tribute to Owen, waving up at the skies, St. Louis. But I mean, it's an awesome book. I mean, he goes into he talks about everything. He talks about how fucked up WCW was. All of his buddies dying, and he talks about back when he was in the WWF before he left, how guys were hooked on pain pills really bad, and they would take them in front of Vince and the road agents, and the road agents would never say nothing to him. He said Hawk of Legion of Doom would just eat one after another. And actually at SummerSlam 92, if you pay close attention, Hawk is all fucked up. And he can barely move in the ring. Check it out if you go back and look at it. But that's all for the Bret the Hitman Hart book review. Some other things that I want to talk about that's been going on this week on YouTube is everybody is really, really concerned about John Cena. Now, John Cena does draw. I give him that. I took up for John Cena when he got injured and everybody was booing him. And I respect his work in the ring. But it's him coming back at a pay-per-view and winning the world title. I really, really just don't agree with that at all. I mean, there's other guys on the roster that bust their ass and don't get a chance to hold the world title. And to me, personally, if I was on the roster and that happened, it would just be a smack in the face to me if I was a wrestler. They say they're going to put him on SmackDown to draw ratings. Nobody watches SmackDown. SmackDown's a tape show. Everybody already knows what happens on Tuesday. So, I mean, I don't know how he's going to bring ratings. Um, I feel like him and Damian Sandow had a killer match on Monday Night Raw, and a lot of people say, even some of my friends on here say that Damian Sandow had the best match of his career because he was working John Cena. I don't see how that's possible when Damian Sandow was beating the living shit out of John Cena, and then out of nowhere he breaks out of a submission and gives Sandow a with one arm. Those were basically the only fucking moves he did in that match. Now, me personally, I can take John Cena or I can leave him. He really don't matter to me. But everybody's on here bitching and moaning and complaining. You know, I those are just my thoughts about it. And you know, there are so many great wrestlers out there that we could talk about. We all need to just stop talking about John Cena because nothing is ever going to change. He's always going to be a top guy. Everybody's always going to, there's going to be the guys that always hate him. And there's always going to be the guys that ride his dick. It's real simple. I don't see how you could be a John Cena fan. I mean, like, John Cena is for the kids. And we got grown ass men up on here worshiping the man. I mean, they talk about like everything he does is great. He's a decent wrestler. He's not the best. But don't sit up on here and talk about how much of a great wrestler he is and how he's one of the greatest of all time, because he's not and he never will be. Maybe in some people's eyes that's what they think. But I mean, you know. And I've been hearing guys on here talk about backstage politics. And I'm going to tell you like this. Any guy in wrestling that is in Cena's spot, Orton's spot, Hogan's spot, Flair's spot, anybody that's a top dog is running politics backstage. You best damn believe that. And I mean, it just comes with wrestling. You can say what you want, but it's the truth. And people saying Cena buries guys, maybe some, but not all of them. And then there's the guys on here that talk about Cena's made this guy and made that guy. John Cena did not make Daniel Bryan. He did not make CM Punk. He took Edge to another level, maybe. But I really don't see John Cena making a whole lot of guys because he doesn't lay down for too many guys. You know, it reminds me of Triple H when he married Stephanie. It's the same thing. You know, they don't want to lay down for people. You know, they want a job for people, but wrestling, the real deal with wrestling is it does not matter whether you win or you lose. It is all written and it is all determined by Vince McMahon. This is not real life, guys. And there are just some guys in the business that just won't lay down, won't take a loss. But based on, from the beginning of time, a real good wrestling match. Back in the day, it did not matter. I'm talking about before Hogan and them. I'm talking about old school wrestling. A guy would do the job and a guy would win. The guy win would make the guy losing look good, and the guy losing would make the guy winning look good. It's that simple. It's professional wrestling. It's not brain science. You know, you ain't got to be like a brain scientist to figure this shit out. But yeah, that's my thoughts on John Cena. I really don't care who likes it and who don't like it, because I can go. I don't need y'all either. You know what I'm saying? This is YouTube. I know enough people in wrestling. You know what I'm saying? I don't need some old bum that sits at home and is lonely and wants to make stupid ass comments. you know. But on the other hand, besides John Cena, this weekend, me and my lovely wife, we're going to a kick-ass independent show where there's going to be some big names and some good independent wrestlers, and I'm looking forward to that. Meeting some guys, and I'll have more details on that on Sunday or Monday. Um, but that's just my thoughts about, the book, about the John Cena fucking bullshit going on YouTube. Let's talk about somebody else, man. Jesus Christ. It's not real life. But, like I always say, get your money and pay your bills. Peace.